What is going on, true believers? Guys, now that Bitcoin's going to zero, now that we're all screwed, now that cryptocurrency is left in ruins, what are we going to do? What stocks are we going to invest? Are we going to start collecting baseball cards again? We're all nerds, aren't we? Do we collect baseball cards or football cards or basketball cards lacrosse cards, whatever it is that you collect, cheerleader cards, you nerds? Anyway, comic books. I guess that's what we're going to have to do right now because crypto is doomed according to everybody, especially everybody named Peter Schiff. Did I say Sniff again? God, Peter Schiff, who's having a victory lap. This guy's having a victory lap with Bitcoin at $60,000. Just imagine how dumb you have to be for that. He's been calling for the zero for Bitcoin for a long period of time. And since we're now going to zero, we're not really, but since we're already going to zero right now, maybe we should all just invest in gold. Oh, wait, it's at an all-time high. And anybody named Peter Schiff would tell you that you don't invest at the all-time high. That would be stupid. You would wait for a retracement, right, Peter? Wink, wink. Anyway, now I'm done talking to my Peter. Let's talk about cryptocurrency because the Fed has a decision. We're going to check into that. We've got a prediction for Solana, which is a massive prediction, by the way. We've got some new meme coins potentially to talk about. There's a pre-sale out here for one that might be an opportunity. Ripple is set for an explosion, and we haven't heard a lot from XRP lately. We're going to be kind of patiently waiting for that, and we didn't see it, but somebody says that it's coming right now. JP Morgan is still taking a cautious approach to cryptocurrency. And we've got a little bit of a Bitcoin update. We're trying to stay away from that, by the way. New pattern here. We're going to start giving you new tokens. We're going to give you new launches. We're going to see what people think of altcoins, stuff like that. We're going to try to inundate you and saturate you, if you will. By the way, somebody accidentally burnt billions of SHIB tokens the other day. What effect does that have on price action? I don't know. I'm stupid, but this is not financial advice, and I'm always right.
It's your boy Bleeds. Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
Are you Raven? Are you Raven? Not the Raven from wrestling and not the That's So lady, a girl. I don't know. She's got to be like 50 now, right? But are you Raven? Because I don't know. Aliens are coming for you. Bleaves is coming for you. Wait a minute. I shouldn't say it that way. Bleaves is arriving for you. Anyway. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe button, bell to be notified if you want to. We're going to do this every day at 9 a.m. Monday through Friday. It's Thursday right now, May the 2nd. The Fed just had a big meeting. But before we get into that, before we unpack everything that's going on, again, I will ask you, hit that like button and remember, I don't know what you should remember anymore. I don't know. Remember, Bitcoin's going to zero, right, Peter Schiff? Right. Anyway, so, and I'm not trying to underscore that we might be having a problem in this market, by the way, and that we might see some negative signs. Now, a little bit earlier today, Bitcoin, the crypto market was up about $30 billion, but then America, came on. And of course, what are they doing? Sucking the liquidity out of the market. Part of the reason for that, by the way, might perhaps be what's going on with IBIT. BlackRock's IBIT for the first time ever had outflows. This was the first day of outflows. And of course, look, it's going to happen. There will be times when something like that happens as we, unpack this whole ecosystem that we're trying to navigate here with the Bitcoin ETFs. But but realistically, it's still kind of it's all new. It's all new to us. Let's just go with that, and let's kick it off with good morning. Good morning to Jay Locke. We've got Masonic Mike in the house. Crypto bull run, won't you come and wash away? Crypto bull. I don't know what that song is. Wash away the rain. God damn it! It's on the tip of my forked tongue, if you will. Mike Volmer, good morning. Brian Bootyhead, good morning. Richard Caldwell, good morning. Dear sir, what is CZ? Do he takes my dollars and puts some amount of lunk? I lose $1 trillion because now CZ, later Binance. Couldn't said it better myself. So good morning to you. Jason Pollins, good morning. We got Blockchain Bonehead in the house. Martin Morrow, we got Shane Jordan. Napolic is in the house. Good morning. God bless is here. Justin W. Jay Manuel, good morning, everybody. Ken Gillette, good morning. Aaron Thompson, good morning. Good morning to Poe. Hope everybody's ready for crypto to go to zero. We're so screwed right now. Daniel Delgado, we are waiting for the bull to wake up. I'm guessing things will change right after the election if the country is not burned down first. A little over aggressive on that. We'll get into the political aspects. I think there's a lot of people who are quote unquote overreacting because we're looking at all these different things and we're looking for reasons to be outraged, concerned, and upset. They're being fed to us by a media that you cannot trust, even if you, by the way, get your news from a specific source. Remember, some of this stuff cannot be completely trusted because they're disingenuous and they don't fact check. And sometimes facts are, we don't do fact-based news. We do opinion-based news right now. So, but here's the thing. If you go back, if you look through the history of the United States, we had a civil war. Things are not as bad as it was then. And if your first hint is, oh, yeah, but that was because of slavery, shut up, because that's not what it was. Look, there was a disconnect between people, and that's what led to this situation. Is there a disconnect between people now? Yeah, but there also was during the McCarthy eras. Duh. There was during the Roosevelt eras. By the way, if you go back about 30, 40, 50 years, people were protesting in the streets over Ronald Reagan. They were protesting in the streets over Jimmy Carter. The difference was we didn't have social media. So shut up. Everything will be fine. Now, of course, if some dildo comes out with a Civil War movie and calls it, Civil War Dose, the Devengers, then it's going to stoke up people, and people are getting ginned up, and then you have a president out here who's welcoming that sort of stuff because it makes him NFT money, so it's not healthy. But guess what? We survive. We'll always survive. This is America. At the end of this, it's still America, and we will survive. So shut up. Crypto Antagonist says, what's up, you bozos? Richard Nelson's in the house. Thomas Weekly is here. We've got Carlos in the house. Washington Heights veteran. We got Remington Perot in the house. Emmon Janet is in the house. Rakeoff Token is out here. Octogenarians, I hate them. What do you think of octogenarians? I fucking hate them. You know what I mean? But I like that one, sort of. Not really, but it's kind of. Lunk Lover 69 is in the house. What is going on? We got the Rakeoff Army in the house. Trail Boss is here. What is going on, my man? We got Alt Sniper. We got Kathleen Blaze. We got Matt Turner. And yes, war of opinion going on for years. You couldn't say it better. I could say it better, of course. Duh. Obviously, I can say it way better than everybody else. But the point is, it's always been going on. So when you get ginned up over it's because you weren't part of it. It's been happening. It used to just be your crazy uncle or your crazy aunt. It used to just be, some kind of crazy people didn't believe, it's wild, just wild stuff, right? I assure you, it's always been there. It's always been there. And then we had the nerve to have a president that doesn't look like all the other presidents. And that really just kind of set everybody off. And it didn't, and by the way, and I'm not saying that because everybody's racist or anything like that. I'm saying that because it was different. And this was a different guy. And not only was he different looking, he had different kind of name, you know what I mean? With the Hussein stuff, like a terrorist, you know what I mean? So weird shit happens sometimes, but I assure you, everything goes back to normal at some point. The spirit of America tends to overcorrect when something like that happens. And luckily, fortunately, we're in a spot right now where if we just bomb the shit out of some people, then everybody would be like, yeah, we're looking number one up top. You know what I mean? It will come back together. I assure you. It's not the, this is not, and by the way, we'll come back together under Donald Trump. We'll come back together under 4 more years of a zombie. We'll come back together. You know what I mean? It's just a matter of time at this point. So, and by the way, there's a lot. Look, everybody's going to have an opinion. Everybody's going to think, oh, no, the sky's coming down. Stupid shit. But we're fine. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. You're fine. You are fine. Except yo uggos, you know what I mean? Y'all ain't fine. But otherwise, you're fine. So good morning to everybody. I hope you're having a great day. Let's get into some of the news here. So we got the key takeaways from the Fed meeting. And we're going to parse a little bit of this part. Another rate hike. The good parts about this were Jerome Powell said that inflation slowdown had stalled, but he continued to express that so far this year, the data has not given us that greater confidence. In particular, as I noted earlier, readings on inflation have come in above expectations, and it might take longer than expected. But he says it's unlikely that the next policy rate move will be a hike. Persuasive evidence that our policy stance is not sufficiently restrictive to bring down inflation sustainably down to 2%. So they're still feeling like maybe, just maybe, they've got an opportunity here, and that there's still a path towards getting inflation down to that sticky 2% number that we're not even getting close to yet. Now remember, last one was about 3.2. It was a little bit hotter than what was expected, but we're getting closer and closer. Remember, there were months where we had 6, 7, 8% for a while. So we're still feeling that upward motion. So, yeah. Richard Caldwell asked a very good question. Why does Jerome Powell look like he sucked off a lemon? Because he's 904 years old. I mean, when he was during his route of he was in I think the 7th or the 8th crusade, I want to say. So he's been around a while. He's been around a while, and sometimes when you stop drinking the blood of the children, look, you've seen QAnon, you know what I'm talking about. When they stop drinking all the ferrochromo, whatever stupid shit there is. When they stop drinking those, they start to look older, and you just can't keep it. You can't keep it up. So it's something like that. So, however, to continue here, the job market remains robust. We just got the job data in, which we'll talk about in just a second. But a persistently strong economy coupled with inflation continuing to stall would simply result in the Fed holding off on cutting rates, but added that an unexpected weakening in the labor market could speed up the first cut. So if we get a few cracks in the pavement, if you will, with the labor market, then they would consider doing a rate cut in order to, of course, that's because, if you're a business and you need to borrow capital, then, you want the lowest possible interest rate in order to continue, you invest in your infrastructure and you use your investment to hire people. And it looks like they, right now people are still hiring. So the Labor Department released the April figures today. We'll get into them in just a second. Economists are still widely expecting inflation and broader U.S. economy to cool in the second half of the year, and Jerome Powell thinks so too. Interest rates are high, pandemic savings are dwindling, Americans are racking up credit card debt, and still high inflation. All of that is expected to tug on the economy's reins in the coming months. However, it was also pointed out yesterday that the Treasury is going to start buying back bonds. So they're going to start buying back bonds, which means that the federal government, by the way, a federal government that has not done any of this shit under Donald Trump, Barack Obama, all the way back to George Bush, I think. All the way back to George Bush. George Bush did it in 2002, but he had a buyback program for treasuries, and it looks like the Treasury has about $12 trillion that they're going to use some of to buy back bonds. What does that do? It reduces interest that's being paid by the U.S. government. So this is the first president in 22 years to attempt to do anything about the national debt. The national debt has continued to spiral, And we don't really see Trump didn't do anything for the national debt except blow it up. Obama didn't do anything for the national debt except blow it up. George Bush didn't do anything but turn a surplus into a deficit. Nobody's done anything about it. Now we've got somebody who's actually doing something about it. So hopefully that ends up in a positive stance. I don't know how that affects crypto, though. That's going to be a sticky kind of question. But the Fed's aggressive rate hiking campaign has already had some effect on certain pockets of the economy, such as housing and business deal making. Mortgage rates soared as the Fed hiked rates, leading to home sales plummeting to their lowest level in decades last fall. Mergers and acquisitions also slowed sharply in the second half of 2022 as the Fed lifted rates. Powell also pointed to the labor market's gradual slowdown from 2022 when job openings exceeded the number of unemployed, seen as the widest margin in history. Still, the broader economy hasn't felt the full effects of high interest rates just yet. The economy expanding robustly in 2023 thanks to strong household spending, despite the Fed jacking up rates to their current levels. The solid job market was key in powering spending last year, and there currently aren't any signs of a sharp pullback on that horizon. But inflation is stuck, and coupled with the economy's resilience, the Fed is expected to push back the timing of the first rate cut. According to futures and forecasts from analysts at major banks, JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs are projecting the first cut to come in July, while Wells Fargo is betting on September, and Bank of America says December. So we're starting to get that backward move. The question now becomes, kids are getting out of school right now. The economy might continue to soar just a little bit. But, look, here's the thing. If people aren't buying houses, housing prices come down. If people aren't doing mergers and acquisitions of companies, then these companies are continuing on. And, look, consolidation of power is what it's preventing. So I'm all for it. Now, here's the thing. When people stop spending savings, when they stop spending credit card debt, when they don't have it anymore, then prices will have to come down, because what will happen is all of these companies that have been gouging us for so long, they're going to have high inventory. When they have high inventory, they have to create sales in order to move product, in order to make profit. And then that margin comes down, and then they actually do price cutting and not just sales. So there we go. Jason Collins says, with a $1.7 trillion deficit, I wouldn't say that they're doing much. No, I wouldn't either. But Donald Trump did 100% of nothing. Barack Obama did 100% of nothing. Joe Biden's doing 100% of something. So there is a vast difference between the last 3 administrations and Joe Biden, no matter whose side you like. No matter whether you say shit like MAGA or whether you say, like, I'm a little teapot, I hate Palestine, or I hate Israel, whatever stupid shit you do on a campus, it doesn't really matter. What you have to do is deal with the facts, and the facts are somebody's actually doing something for the first time in 22 years about the federal budget deficit. Somebody's tangibly doing something real about the federal budget deficit. So, and you can still not like the guy and still realize that it's happening no matter what. Just like you can still realize that according to multiple people, Donald Trump is a sexual predator. But still vote for him because he says stuff like, "I like God. God's pretty awesome." My favorite quote in the Bible, I'm not going to tell you that because there's so many of them. There's just so many. Like, I could quote some, but I'm not gonna, because why would I do that? You know what I mean? But just trust me, God. You know what I mean? But you got to remember, this is the guy that did prison reform. He did all kinds of different stuff that people are still going to like. So there's good and bad in everybody. So recognize some of the good sometimes, and cool. So next up, we've got U.S. weekly job claims are still tight. Productivity falters in the first quarter, but the layoffs declined in April. So now the number of Americans filing new claims for unemployment benefits held steady at a low level last week, pointing to a still fairly tight labor market that should continue to underpin the economy in the second quarter. Economists largely shrugged off other data from the Labor Department on Thursday, showing growth in worker productivity almost stalled in the first quarter, noting that the trend in productivity remains solid. They also argue that there was a seasonal quirk which tended to bias gross domestic product productivity lower in the first quarter. At face value, the sharp slowdown in productivity and accompanying surge in labor labor costs could raise concerns about inflation pressure building up, as well as profit margins being squeezed, which would impact demand for labor. We believe such fears are misplaced. We have identified residual season adjustment bias in the quarterly GDP growth measures that depressed first quarter growth. And since productivity is measured by the sector's GDP divided by hours worked, this bias also depresses productivity. So we got another good jobs report, and now the economy, while not robust yet, I mean, really, like we're still feeling it. Like you should acknowledge, and we should all acknowledge, we are still feeling it. Maybe egg prices came down, but remember, 2 years ago, egg price was like $6 for a dozen eggs, and I think that they didn't claw back all of those. We didn't claw back all of those gains because I think eggs are still like $2, where they used to be like 89 cents, 99 cents for a dozen eggs. Now, so there's big increases that we still have to pare away at. So we're not done yet with whatever with whatever we're tackling with inflation. We're not done yet. We've got to see a tiny level of deflation in day-to-day housing costs and prices, or we're going to have to see a huge wage increase one way or another. Something's going to have to give in this economy for it to start moving on. So we will see whether or not this happens. Please check this token. It's huge. CZ's best friends created yesterday. No, they didn't. No, they didn't. No. The CZ's best friends don't create tokens. They all right. Anyway, Solana now predicted to be oh God, JC, don't say that. Nobody's on top of it. At least he just did something. It may not even work, by the way. So we should recognize that even if he did something, I mean, if you're throwing pennies in a bucket, then it's going to take a long time for anything to happen. So, so anyway, Solana is predicted to reach $500 this year. Solana has been one of the assets affected over this last drop down to, I want to say it was about 210, dropped down to around $124. So the market's been kind of weird here. So as long as the alt market continues to bleed, as long as we continue to get this outward momentum, then we're probably going to feel some of the pain overall. We're going to feel that downward momentum, that downward pressure, if you will. If you look at Solana like this right here, now look, we did get a bounce off of it. We do have a bounce that we just experienced. This is the daily chart, by the way, and you can see this is really, if you're looking for signs, by the way, if you're looking for signs, then you can see the reversal on the daily starting to build up. You can look over here and you can see these wicks right here, which indicate that we found a floor and that momentum has shifted back in this direction. If you're looking at it that way, you can also look at this is the 200 MA right down here, and you can see that that's at 104 right now. And by the way, we need to change that back to the 100 for the moment. I changed that to the 200 the other day. So I'm going to put that back up there, and you can see that right here, it bounced off of, it got a little convergence there, and it bounced off of it a little while back. So, and let's expand this real quick just for a second. The RSI still fairly low. We're not getting any kind of blow off. We got a little bit of a reversal. We got a bounce. So I think that the RSI probably about to get bullish. That would indicate that the price go up. So I think we're probably going to be doing some retesting. We may not hit that 104 number, but we've got a bounce here sitting around. Let's, if we come back here and look at kind of the volume area right now, it's going to be like right in this range at 104, 105. So it would make sense if it comes back down some more, and there's reason to consider it's coming down some more. But as of this moment, we haven't seen it. So, altcoin Sherpa, in case you don't know, I'll pop this up on the screen. This is from altcoin Sherpa. Now, he's pretty much in tune with altcoin, spends his entire day doing this. And he said, Sol, as long as the alt market continues to bleed, 120 might be the area of interest because it makes perfect sense. That said, I still strongly feel Solana is going to 500 this year, DCA, and just be patient. So this is, I think this is about as best you can get at predictions at this point. Now, for me, I don't remember what I gave. 260. He thinks 500. I think 260. We'll see who's more right on that one. I think it's going to be me. By the way, I do think it's going to be me. By the way, altcoins are starting to move. In case you're paying attention here, this is the volatility. Bitcoin to ETH. I changed it from ETH to Bitcoin to ETH because when it goes up, that means we're getting closer to altcoin season. You're starting to see this reversal here. We've got a nice big candle brewing for the day. So we've bounced off of, and this, by the way, again, this is not value of one token. This is the Bitcoin to ETH pairing, which is a predicator of an altcoin season. So in the event that this starts to run, and we actually get a big and robust move, that would mean altcoins are starting to pump. And, to be fair, when we go down the list of tokens today, there seems to be a lot pumping. So we're going to watch that just a little bit more. We'll see how this plays out. But so I would expect Solana to have a pretty big increase. If it 2x's, that's still going to be a good number. If it 4x's by the end of the year, that would be a fantastic number. The question at this point is what will happen. So a lot of people, if you don't like Joe Biden, then what you're going to say is, well, it's going to be after the election, just in case it was Donald Trump that gets elected, and then somehow he's magically going to make everything go explode. If you like Joe Biden, then you're just kind of sitting on the sideline saying like he's going to save it and he's going to blah blah blah. And it changes the dynamic of it. But what we should recognize is last time it took 87 days to go up 20% from Bitcoin from the price at the halving to kind of kick off that bull run, if you will. So 87 days, the time before that was 143 days. So that's 6 months, almost 6 months. So from April 20, you have May, June, July, August, September, October. So it's very, very possible that, that's a little bit longer because that's 7 months. And that would be about 210 days, which doesn't make any sense, by the way. I know some of you would like it to make sense because you like, you like who you like in an election, but I don't think that has anything to do with it. It really, I think that the market will flip. What we're doing right now is we're heading into the summer months where price go down and we don't get a whole lot of action. But that's going to flip when kids get back to school and stuff like that. And then we'll have, a second half. That's where it's going to pop. So what I would look for in this market right now is sell in May and walk away. And then you have June, July, and August. You have that 3-month window there where, price action goes sideways, maybe up a little bit, maybe down a little bit, depending on what the ETFs do, really. So, but if that happens and that continues to those things continue to manifest themselves, then all of a sudden, August, September, October, then you're going to start to see some really big returns and some really big gains coming out of it because, that's kind of just the way that it works, right? That's just kind of how it bees. Let's take a quick look here at data and. Bang, there we go. All right, so we'll pull this up on the screen. So this is the returns that we get when people say sell in May and walk away. If you can look over here, you can see that we've had these moments in 2021, 2022 where it's been red. Looks like this right here. But July has historically been pretty good. If you take away a few of those numbers, it's historically been a pretty good time. And then you've seen August be kind of a mixed bag. There's a lot of volatility. Then you look at September, and September has been putrid. So there are some negatives. October seems to be when everything comes back. So what are we really looking at? So in the month of July, we have positive price action. This is historic data, by the way. This is not, it feels like it. In May, the average increase is 6%. In June, 0. In July, 7%. In August, 2.9%. So you could basically say this is a pretty good indicator that price will go down a little bit, but not too much. That we'll have a good month, we'll have a bad month, a good month, a bad month, something like that. Just not going to be incredibly volatile. Then you have September, which is always down, and it's averaged down 4.78%. But then you have October with an average increase of 22%. You have November with an average increase of 46%. And then you have over here December and January with more modest increases. And then boom, we have the tax time where that's where you get the bigger gains. But here it is right here, October and November. That's where you get the biggest gains in the market. So basically buy in September and hold on for dear life has been the that's been the mantra, if you will. So we shall see. We shall see. I mean, what you can say is thank you, Joe Biden, because after Joe Biden was elected in November of 2020, crypto went up 43%, the largest gain that we've seen in a very, very long time. And then, of course, in 2016, Trump was elected. It was only 5.4% for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, under Obama, it was 449, it was 13, it was 20. You know what I mean? Then the next season, 53%, and then 53% down. So, basically what I'm saying is just fucking with all of you who are like, yeah, mug and shit like that, because it really is silly. Anyway, there's October, November. That's when we get our biggest increases, mostly in October, not so much November, but the gains in November are more substantial based on that 2013 449% increase. If we took that out of the mix, and we can't because it's unfair, but if we did kind of take this out of the mix just a little bit, then we'd be looking at what, 400 divided by 10, 40 points. So the average increase in November would be a little less robust. It'd be more like 6%. If it just had like a 50% increase right there because of the downward momentum that we had under Trump and Biden during those November periods. So, but these are, these are the trend lines. We'll see how it plays out. I'm certainly going to be curious how it runs. So anyway, but let's move on because we got to keep going and we got a bunch of shit to cover. And I am slowing down because I'm just blah blah blah. Ripple, 500 million in XRP is going to unlock as traders fear an impending fall. So if you are holding on to a bunch of XRP, there might be very soon a dropping off point, if you will, for your Ethereum. I mean, oh my God, Jesus Christ, please get your shit together for your XRP. So right now we're on a bit of a pump coming into this over the last bunch of hours on the day chart. I don't think there's any harm right now in aping out and looking to wait and see if you don't come down and reconnect with this 40-cent number. That would be a risk. That would be a risk. I'm not allowed to do that, I don't think. I mean, I can do a Rakeoff interview, but I thought there was that it was promised to DJ or something like. I thought there was somebody that was that, and it may not have been them, but yeah. Do you need to keep track of time? Time is a human construct, baby. Space-time is all that matters. Yes, I do. In fact, yes, I do. But if so, I would look. I'm not telling you what to do with your XRP, but if you got 500 million unlocking, then you got a problem in your price action. So the process. Ripple is set to have 500 million XRP unlocked as traders fear an impending fall. The firm is set to commence with its monthly release of XRP from escrow. May 1st is going to bring 1 billion in XRP tokens onto the market. Now, if that is the case, that means that it happened yesterday, and maybe, just maybe, that was the little fall off that we saw for a short period of time yesterday. Maybe it's all over. Maybe that sell pressure has been bypassed and we don't have people selling. That could be a potential good sign. So we'll be watching that over the next 48 hours or so. If it moves broadly with the market and continues up, then no worries. If it doesn't and the market starts to wane, then it is possible that XRP gets even more of a dip. Again, possibly down to 40 cents or something like that. But at this point, I wouldn't look for that move to happen until you get like a confirmation that the broader market is coming down. Now, new meme coin is going live today. I'm not partnered with them. I'm not sponsored by them. I have no affiliation with them. This is a sponsored post though, and Solana goes live today. It raised $100,000 on launch day. Solana, a new Solana meme coin, has emerged on the market. Raised 100K, so it's got a decent volume for its pairing following. Its pre-sale is ongoing, but with over 100K already, that looks like there's been a lot of interest in it after raising. For those who don't know, Sturf is a notorious Solana meme coin. It underwent the current market cycle, raised 10 million. A mishap that is such. Jesus Christ, we're talking about some kind of scam token along with Solana, and they're assuring you that this is not going to happen. The And there's also Slothana. So check out Solana and Slothana. No promises that it's going to do anything, but certainly check it out. And by the way, is it me or is this does this look like something out of South Park? That cat that does this not look like the guy who played World of Warcraft? That seal isn't that who it looks like? Anyway, so let's move on. Check that one out if you want to. Solana. Next up, Bitcoin options positioning anticipates a summer slowdown. Bitcoin derivatives traders are bracing for a summer slowdown, according to an analyst. Summers are usually low volatility, and traders are starting to position accordingly based on their bias. Bitcoin implied volatility has dropped significantly since mid-April, where this can also be seen in charts from the block's data dashboard, which shows the implied volatility of Bitcoin at the options falling from over 77% to under 60% for 1 week, 1 month, and multi-month expiries. The implied volatility of either ATM options has decreased to a similar extent with Bitcoin since mid-April. It looks like typically there is uncertainty. Traders will go off risk off to cash and sit on the sidelines, and it would not surprise me if a similar situation is occurring on Ethereum and Bitcoin as well. So we might be looking at a drawdown for a little while in price action. So be watching out for it. Again, we're getting into the summer months. There's not going to be a whole lot of activity. And coupled with that, JP Morgan is now maintaining a cautious stance on crypto markets in the near term. This is not Jamie Dimon, but it says with a lack of positive catalyst, with the retail impulse dissipating, and with the three headwinds mentioning previously in our publication, which were lack of positive indicators and declining retail interest. We maintain a cautious stance on crypto markets over the near term. The past 2 weeks have seen a significant selling off and profit taking in the crypto market. So, in fact, retail investors appear to have sold both crypto and equity assets during April. They added that not only have spot Bitcoin exchange traded funds seen outflows in April, but indicators of real retail interest in stocks have also decreased over the past month. The net flow into equity funds turned negative in April after strong buying in February and March. So people are getting out of the markets right now. And that would be an indicator that we're probably going to go through like a summer slump, if you will. Summer slump would be along the lines of what we would expect to see happen, by the way, with this. But if you haven't already, please hit that like button. Pushes me up in the algorithm. According to the live train here, we've got like 233 people who've stopped in. Most, I think, are probably coming on X at this point. But if you haven't and you're on and if you're on the YouTube platform, please hit that like button on the way in. And if you're on the X platform, for the love of God, share this video and hit the like button on X as well. And if you're coming in from any other, then share this on Facebook. Do it. Share it with everybody. Everybody needs to know who the hell I am. Don't you know who the fuck I am? Or something like that. It's lyrics to a song. You don't know it because you're a nerd, but I know it because I'm cool. Anyway, so summer, JP Morgan going to be cautious for a while. Let's see how this plays out. BlackRock, however, sees sovereign wealth funds, pensions coming for the Bitcoin ETF. So what we're seeing and what's really happening is don't trust JP Morgan. Never trust JP Morgan. If you do the opposite of what JP Morgan says, you tend to do pretty well in this market. If you don't believe me, go back and look. Okay. Every time Jamie Dimon calls crypto a scam, what happens? It pumps. Okay. So recognize the signals. They're talking shit, and here's what's happening. We're probably about to get a little bit of a pump because they're out here talking shit. So, but BlackRock, who is really, I mean, we should be honest with this. BlackRock is really in tune with what's going on. Um, in a lot of these different instances. Like they really seem to be in tune with what's happening broadly. JP Morgan a little more checked out, and what they're saying right now is that they believe that wealth funds, pensions, all of these guys are doing their due diligence, and now what we're seeing is a big move potentially coming again. Like we won't even see it, like it'll just happen. It'll just start coming in. Those inflows will slow at first, and then all of a sudden it's going to absolutely start, going crazy. And by the way, it looks like Bitcoin's up 1.5%. We're starting to see some capital inflows coming in. We're up $20 billion on the day. So it looks like that's not a sustained reversal, by the way. It's a reversal, very little, but it is a reversal coming off of basically where we said 59,000. So we're getting a bounce off of that 100 MA, and we'll see, whether or not it holds. And I don't know that it will, but Jesus Christ, now we're up 23 billion. Something's happening. Dog with Hat, by the way, is up 8.5%. Pepe's up 12%. Xverse, by the way, we'll get into it in just a few minutes. But let's talk about Bitcoin on-chain metrics. It just hinted, by the way, it's called the STHMVRV, short-term holder market value to realized value, stands at 0.96. And when it goes below a whole number, when it goes below 1, that tends to mean that there's going to be a strong recovery. When STHMVRV has dipped below 1 and it's at 0.96 right now, it's typically been a precursor to a market recovery, as it suggests that the selling pressure from short-term holders is waning and could indicate that sellers are getting exhausted. This exhaustion is further supported by recent performance of the Bitcoin Fundamental Index, which shows a recovery from lower levels, suggesting increased network growth and investor confidence. So it is possible that we're looking at a recovery coming in, and that recovery is coming right now. Also, billions of SHIB were burned accidentally in April. So, according to ShibBurn, the spike in token burns was due to users erroneously sending SHIB to the contract address. This isn't due to big news or anything as many reported. It's just folks making mistakes, sending their tokens to the contract address and losing their investments. Be careful and double check where you send your tokens so it doesn't happen to you. During these missteps, technical analyses suggest a potential bullish signals for SHIB. A bull flag formation of SHIB's daily chart hinted at a possible upward trajectory. Market watchers anticipate a bullish breakout past 40's 23 to 25 that could propel SHIB from its current support levels to as high as 40's 71. In fact, I saw a prediction the other day that by the end of this year, we're looking at 30's 11 for SHIB, which is going to be about 8x from where it is right now. So, in fact, we could be looking at a really big potential breakout for SHIB. So keep it on your radar and keep watching for it. Now, let's talk unlocks. We don't have anything major other than SWE. I don't think that's got too much of an impact. But meme, that book of memes, if you are an investor in book of memes, I want you to look right here. You've got 129 million unlocking on a market cap of 415 million. That to me is holy shit, get out of the way money right there. So I would be watching for book of memes to have a massive crash coming very soon. Matter of fact, let's look at book of meme on MEXC. Let's take a quick look at that right now. I think this is the one. If this is the one, then I would be looking at a massive move to the downside coming over the next bunch of hours. And if it's not, let me, you know what? God damn it. I should have just clicked this and got to it. No, it's something called Meme Coin. Currently ranked number 180 overall. So this to me would indicate There we go. Meme coin. There it is. All right. So there we go. All right, it's coming down. So it's about to unlock this gigantic pre-sale right here. It's had a nice little run here. It's going to unlock a quarter of its supply. 25-30% of its supply is getting ready to get unlocked. So I would be looking for a big dip on that one. So let's get into a few of these. Total market supply, we're up $20 billion on the day. Bitcoin at 59,261. On the long term, it looks like that reversal is in. We just talked about it. I think that we have this, we've got this nice wicking down here, which indicates that there's buyers are stepping in to push the price upwards. So I would expect that there's a little bit of a recovery. However, you should consider that the recovery probably won't go beyond 64, 65,000 if it even gets there. You should also expect that this point of control at 60,800 might represent the resistance that we won't go above in the short term. So, and if that happens, then sellers will continue to exit their positions, and we could see Bitcoin come down into that 52,000 range. Short term, however, it's currently looking like it's about to have a nice move. Now, Ethereum did exactly what we predicted it was going to do. Did the same thing. We've got nice wicking down here at the bottom, signaling an upward move. That upward move could come up to 3,200 or so over the next little while. A couple of days is all it would take for that big sort of move to happen. But it looks like it's playing out through this channel for a breakout. So if it breaks out, then all bets are off and we're off to the races. Dev E, if you guys have been following me and listening to me, and you're looking for something, this is a green blockchain. This green blockchain also has a staking platform that was released today, yesterday, allowing you to start staking. Maybe it was 2 days ago, allowing you to start staking. So then you've got this resistance right here at the 20 MA, but it's about to pump. It looks like to the 50 to see if it's got a retest. Now, the fundamental level right here of rejection was 74 cents, but it's at 52 right now, up 11% on the day, starting to get a bit of momentum. Big buys in the last hour have really started this thing off. So, guys, if you were in here, boom. If you weren't, oh well. Xverse, if you saw my Xverse videos, you see here over the last couple hours, this thing has just exploded. Had a nice little move, came back down almost to the launch price. We got in at 6 cents, if you guys remember. I have 10,000 tokens at 6 cents. So that's $600 worth down here. Currently, that's 11,801, so it's worth 1,180. So almost 100% increase because I got into this thing in that pre-sale. So there we go. We've got a nice little potential break. And by the way, this breakout, the breakout up here went to just a ridiculous number of 44 cents. I don't know that it goes to 44 cents or anything like that. However, if I were to look at this on EXVG over here, it's up 45% on the day. But the market cap, 47 million, 189,000 in liquidity, and this game just launched. So this one could be one that just, what is this? We're at 11 cents now, 47 million market cap. If it 10x's from here to a 470 million market cap, if it goes to a 470 million market cap for this AAA rated game, by the way, I'll show it to you in just 1 second. But if it goes up like this, then that's a 10x from where we are. That's $1.10 or something like that. This is the game, by the way. It's called Xverse. They just had their first tournament, gave away $50,000 in the tournament. The three planets of Xverse, there's a backstory for it. And then you can play here, connect and create user-generated worlds, write your own story. Here's the tokens, EXVS, the in-game currency, and this is the ecosystem, EXVG. And then here's the screenshots of the game, by the way. You can see right here, AAA rated game, lights, oh God, what is it called? Whatever my NVIDIA, the RTX, it's got RTX ray tracing. That's what it was, ray tracing. It's got ray tracing graphics and lights. Nothing you haven't seen before, by the way. But it's, again, AAA rated graphics usually mean that it's going to have a nice little sort of realistic feel to it. And they just had that tournament. They're partnered with KuCoin. And by the way, I'm no longer partnered with them for promos. So I'm just doing this because I think that this is going to blow up at when GameFi really hits. So I'm just telling you guys, KuCoin, Polka Bridge, all the things that like Ben is talking about, that I've been talking about, all these different places, GameFi.org, Cointelligence, Apex Digital, Moonrock Capital, Cogitant Ventures. Remember, Cogitant Ventures is a big time meme coin venture capitalist fund. There's a lot of people that are looking at this project. So if you haven't, you certainly should. Ben trading at 53.32. Just kind of waiting for a big move. Bro, I think was down pretty big. I don't know how it's doing right now. Looks like a Bro reversal just happened. It's up 18% on the day. Or 20% now. So it just had a nice big reversal. Coins Chick, told you, goddamn told you that if you just anyway, Myro 13,972. Myro's just not getting it at this point. This is more broadly about Solana and the ecosystem and not Myro, but Myro's not getting that surge like some of the other projects are. Dog with Hat just got that big surge up to 285. Again, it's testing this high over and over again in this range. If it gets accepted into this range, then we're going to see a breakout of Myro, probably to $3.10. Myro to Dog with Hat to $3.10 if we can get that breakout and break above where it is right now. Pepe 76.77. By the way, Pepe is, look at this, it's doing the same thing as everything else. What did it do? It came down a long-term channel here. This looks like, by the way, this is altcoin season. Like this looks like it's from altcoin season, or how that breakout would happen. It came into this channel. It stayed in the range of this channel. It broke out of the channel. It came back for a retest right here, and now it's breaking out above that area. So if you're holding Pepe, I get a sense that we're maybe going to see some positive price action. Solana's having a little bit of a recovery. Look, people were a little bit nervous the other day because we had the congestion issues, and now all of a sudden we're starting to see that reversal. This is an hour chart, so you can see in the last couple of hours there's been some enormous interest. Zelda 2.0 Trail Boss, thank you for the $5 bomb. We've got Zelda 2.0 launching on Saturday. So if you want to put a link, by the way, Trail Boss, into the X link or something like that so people can find it, or the pre-sale link, just put that into chat now. Zelda 2.0. Let's see what happens here. See if I can find it. Zelda 2.0. Here we go. Zelda 2.0. Be part of the Zelda community. 12.3K followers. May the 4th launch. May the 4th be with you. Do not miss it. Join Telegram now. Zelda2.ai. Huge AMA tomorrow in Telegram. We're launching on Saturday. Come ask questions you might have and get ready for a massive launch. Love dogs, then you'll love this project. I don't see a dog on it yet, but I assume that Zelda might be a dog in some fashion. Zelda2.ai website looks like a little something like this. But CertiK audit complied. Audit passed from Solidity and CertiK with KYC and Skynet. Tokenomics. There we go. Locked marketing, dog rescue, team lock, vested holders. Okay. All right. There's a token vesting process for the people who've got into the launch right there. 20% every month before. So there's no real cliff. There's just 20% per month. Definitely go check this out for yourself. Go decide for yourself. It's Zelda2.eth. I'm going to pop this in. That's the X handle. So if you want to go check that out, you can go check that out. Again, Breakouts, Luna Classic 10,203. Luna having a nice little move back towards the upside for a potential breakout. If it gets accepted into this point of control, which it's going through right now, then the next move is up to 11, and then probably 11,374 after that. It looks like we're getting the move on the Bitcoin to ETH pairing, so that would mean that we're getting some kind of breakout potentially. So a good sign for that. Bonk is up 10%. We might be witnessing a surge in Solana, by the way. So it is possible that that's what we're seeing right now. Floki's up 5%. We could be just seeing a meme coin push. Jupiter is up 5%. MXM is up 9.5%. Trump is at 497. Guys, I told you yesterday at 420, right? I told you be silly if you didn't get it at 420, right? And what did you do? Did you get it at 420? Was at the bottom at 420? Did you get it? Did you? Did you? Anyway, that 12.2% up on the day. So if you did, shout out to you. Celestia was having some problems the other day, and guess what? It looks like it's fully recovered, and there we go. I am not actively promoting Dog and Snout Skeptic to begin with. Like that was just a guy came up. He had a really cool idea because it was the only thing that ever killed Pepe. It was just, all I was brought in for one video. So I don't really have a partnership or anything like with them. That was a one-off, which is why you don't hear me talking about it too much. But that could be that we get a little something going on in the future. Like these guys reach out to me sometimes and they say stuff, and then when it comes down to it, they don't they just don't come back. You know what I mean? And that's okay. Anyway, back to DevE. DevE is having a breakout. Jesus Christ. It's up 12%. Whoa. All right. Well, that was a big spike. Did you guys just see that? God damn. All right. So it went up to 57%. Something big must be going on with DevE at the moment. Let's go see what TEVVE. Okay, April 30th, 1 hour ago, DevE Whales Talk. Oh, I got to go into this right now, as a matter of fact. So anyway, that's it for now. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate each and every one of you. And time to pay the bills. And we'll see you again on Friday. Cryptonomy.finance is your venture capital investment fund. If you're looking to launch a project and you need seed capital, contact Cryptonomy.finance today. They have a $74 million investment fund, and they processed over $10 billion in the last 5 years. So far, guys, on my flexible account, I've earned 0.001 Bitcoin. On my fixed account, this is where it gets interesting. We're going to make another deposit here, 0.5 Bitcoin. We're going to do this for 12 months again. We've created another staking protocol with a half a Bitcoin for the next 1 year. Checking my Ethereum holdings, you can see that by the end of this vesting process, I will have 3.23 Ethereum more than the 3 that I put in. And the most important thing, gentlemen, ladies, the Launchpad. The Launchpad is still producing significant yields on every launch. My accrued interest so far, a little bit over $109,000. Can't stress to you enough, guys. Check out Cryptonomy.finance today if you need venture capital.